I attack back. I'm an effective attacker of the greatest threat to Western civilization, the left. Don't take my word for it. Take Alan Dershowitz. Said on camera in his apartment to me last month in New York that liberals need to understand that the left is a much greater threat than the right. But liberals have no backbone. Dershowitz is so rare among liberals as to be almost unique. Liberals are wimps, and leftists are destructive. That's the entire left in a nutshell. So when you're a wimp in the face of destructiveness, you are part of the problem. Hi, everybody. Are Greeks considered white? So if the president were a racist, he could have just as easily said, let's get more people from Greece. But I don't think he would have said that. Would you please play, this is very distressing. This is why people like me consider the media fraudulent. This is Jim Acosta on CNN.
I almost have to think back to the day when we were at Trump Tower when the president was commenting on Charlottesville, and he was saying that there were very fine people on both sides, saying that there are very fine people among the white supremacists and the Nazis.
Okay, that's a lie. Excuse me, I accuse Jim Acosta of lying. Almost the entire press has lied about Charlottesville. He was talking about the people who wanted the statues to stay up, not about Nazis. Any more than he was talking about Antifa. He doesn't believe Antifa is decent, and he doesn't believe the Nazis were decent. So there's a gigantic lie, but it's the ease with which a Jim Acosta says this. The man, he should be in journalism like I should be a chef. It is a perfect analogy, except this. I would be more honest. I don't know how to be a chef.
I'd rather eat your food than hear his report.
You rather eat my food than hear his report. All right, so I got 2 votes for my being a chef.
Is that the President of the United States just seems to have a problem here, Wolf, in this area. And we can tiptoe around it, we can dance around it, and not really put our finger on it.
Yeah, that's what they do. Hold on. That's what they do. They dance around it. That's hilarious. Yeah, they haven't been direct enough, calling the man a Nazi and a white supremacist, etc. He said we have to protect Western civilization. They called that white supremacist. The track record of the press is despicable. The press, the mainstream media in the West stinks. Do you understand? Read about how awful they were for every big issue. All right? Every big issue. The denial of Stalin's crimes while they were happening, and they got a Pulitzer Prize at the New York Times for one of the biggest lies of the 20th century. There's no famine in Ukraine.
Dance around it. And
wait. I don't want more of him yet. The New York Times has finally acknowledged it wildly underreported the Holocaust.
Dance around it.
And wait, please. I know. I understand what you're trying to do, but this is very important. Next is Iraq, and what was it? John Burns, New York Times correspondent, wrote a huge piece about how CNN and others made a deal with Saddam Hussein not to report the truth about his sadistic, cruel tyranny in exchange for having a bureau in Baghdad. The staggering lies of the press with regard to the Tet Offensive, which in fact the U.S. won and they depicted as a North Vietnamese victory. It's a lying creation, the Western media, on the big issues. They're terrific on local crime reports. No question about it. They're terrific in sports. They tell you the score accurately. I have no problem reading those columns. No, weather, I did not. I purposely did not include weather. They stink on the weather. I lived it last week in New York. Oh, cyclone, what was it? Cyclone bomb. No, bomb cyclone. I took a picture of Manhattan 1 hour after the 4-hour, 5-hour snowfall that was the bomb cyclone. Is nothing. It was a joke. Jim Acosta lies about what the president said about Charlottesville. It is a lie. He is part of the lie. CNN is perpetrating a lie. It's the strongest word I can use. My reputation in part rests upon the accuracy of my accusation. Either he's lying or I'm lying. All right? One of us is lying. It's simple as that. Either I'm lying about what the president really meant, or he's lying about what the president really meant. There were good people on both sides. He meant that there were good people who were protesting against the statues, and there were good people protesting for keeping up the statues. To say that the president said there were good people on both sides doesn't only mean that he's saying there were good people among the Nazis. You think he thinks there were good people among Antifa, that fascist, left-wing, fascist, communist group of violent thugs? You think he was saying they were good people? You are lied to in the mainstream media every day. But they're so big that you don't know it. He doesn't even think that why it's so frightening is he doesn't think he's lying. He sleeps well at night, Jim Acosta, because he's surrounded by liars. And if you're surrounded by liars telling the same lie, you sleep well. Fake news is an understatement about the mainstream media in America and the West. I reported to you the BBC. You don't see, people forget all this stuff. Remember massacre in Jenin? The Israelis committed a massacre in Jenin. There was day after day about the Israeli massacre in Jenin. It never happened. They lie regularly. Okay? And Jim Acosta is just one of them. He's a nothing. He's just another lying part of the lying media. I give you examples. Does the president lie? Yes, he does. About trivia. How many people showed up at his inaugural or whatever it is? I wish he didn't. I love truth. But it's not comparable. Read about the Tet Offensive in Vietnam. You're listening to the Dennis Prager Show.
Dance around it, dance around it, dance around it.